ASML was down about 1% last week. It's down about 9% in the last month and about 0.5% in the last 12 weeks. It's recently broken a confirmed downtrend line, and it does look as if this stock might be reversing this week and creating a good trading opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to describe the opportunity and let you know what rules you might use to enter this stock. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of ASML stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. So on the weekly chart for ASML, we can see this stock is long-term bullish. Looking at the last 10 years of price history, this stock has moved up consistently in a very consistent trending pattern. You can see every time it moves up, it pulls back and then moves up once again. Its stock trends very predictively. And you can see I've added some downtrend lines which correspond to the price action back in 2021. Got a price peak here, and you can see the stock trended down to create that price trough here about 363 before breaking out, moving up once again. And you can see I've got a couple of extra trend lines here, just illustrating how predictable this stock is when it trends. We can see, zooming in on the weekly chart for ASML, since price created this peak back in July 2024, so about 1 year ago now, this stock was sold off. It has trended down to find support at this level here of about $574, and that trough was created in April this year. Since that time, it has now started to move up. It's broken that trend line to create this new price peak of around 827 about 4 weeks ago in July 2025. And this week, it does look as if now it's going to reverse. So since price hit that trough of around about 575 back in April, it has moved up to break the trend line. It's created that price peak about 826. There was some selling pressure following the earnings report. It was sold down, and it looks as if now that it's found support about 628. You can see pretty bearish bar here in the week commencing 28th of July, so last week. And this week so far, it does look as if now 682 is support for this stock. There is a bullish reversal bar forming this week, suggesting that that is a support level and ASML is looking to reverse and perhaps move back up. And if it can hold there, it does look as if now price is going to come back and challenge this level here. And if it can break that level, that previous peak, that would confirm that it is looking bullish and potentially it's going to move up, potentially challenge the price action up here of around about over $1,000, corresponding to the peak over here formed about a year ago. So this price peak here does look like potential resistance for ASML, so I'm going to mark that one up. You can see I've already marked up the all-time high up here of 1114, and also I've marked up this price trough from the April price action of 575. Now, zooming out, we can see there's a few other key levels to think about for ASML. I'm going to mark up this price peak back here. That could offer some resistance for the stock when it starts to move up. And then in between this level and this level, we've got some other price action to take note of. So this price peak here, where price reversed, it's about 771. So I'm going to mark that one up there. And also there's another level here where ASML found support in the downtrend in the last 12 months. That's 644. So I'm going to mark that one up as well. And also to note as well, it might be a minor level. You've got this level running through here of about 703. And finally, there was a bit of resistance up here at around about $1,000. so the round psychological number. So key levels there for ASML over the last 5 years. Now zooming into the most recent price action on the weekly chart, we can see the stock is trading above this level of 704 and underneath this potentially resistive level of 771. It has broken the trend line recently after coming down into this trough to find support. It's broken up to create this peak here of 826. It's pulled back after earnings, and it does look as if now this level is support for ASML around about 683. And zooming in a bit closer, we can see this week we've got that green bullish reversal bar forming. So potentially it's finding support this week, and it's looking to make a move back up to potentially challenge this level here and move up within the trend up towards this level, potentially over the next 6 months. If you look at the bigger picture for ASML on the weekly chart, we can see the stock does trend well. If you look at the price action back here, there was a sort of double top pattern here back in September 2021 and November 2021. It did trend down very uniformly before it found support around 362. It broke that trend line, and after the trend line break, it did move up, and price did increase approximately from that trough to the peak. It moved up about 112%. If you look at the price action after it broke this trend line, we can also work out from that trough to the peak up here, there was around about 97% gain. So in theory, if we look at the current price action and we predict that we're going to get a break of the trend line and it's also going to move up approximately 100%, then that does correlate quite well to this potential price target up here of 1110.24. So it does look as if that, based on the historical price action, the way that ASML trends, once it breaks that confirmed downtrend line, the trend changes. It does look to push up to a certain percentage in line with the overall long-term trend. So this move about 90 to 100% is definitely possible over the next 6 months for this stock, based on the way that the stock moves quite predictively. So clearly there is a medium to long-term price target for this stock up here at this price peak here. So that's something you could target over the medium to long term. Now, since that price peak about a year ago, ASML has pulled back. It has trended down and retraced almost 50%. Now, I'm sure you're aware with trading, that pullback of 50% is a very strong level. And if stocks do come back and find support at 50% and start to move back up, it can be a very bullish indicator that the stock will continue to rise over the medium to longer term. So we've got that break of the longer term trend. We've got that 50% support. Stock has broken up to make this new peak here, and now it has pulled back. And it does look as if it's finding support at 682. So a good entry for a medium term to long term trade, a good entry could be above this level here of 825. You could enter there on confirmation. So an entry for a medium to longer term trade, entering at 826 above this peak here, and targeting perhaps $1,000 with a 15% stop loss, using this level here as your exit. Potentially you've got a risk to reward of 1.88 and an upside potential of around about 28% targeting this level up here, which corresponds to that potential resistance there. And of course, if it pushes through there, you could trade up to the all-time high, which is about 35% risk to reward of 2.32. So a solid trade setup for this stock over the medium to long term. Possibly that could unfold in about 6 months, and that corresponds to how long it took for the previous moves to occur. Now, a higher risk trade to consider would be to buy the reversal this week or next week. So if ASML closes high this week and we have that confirmed reversal bar for the entire week, you could consider entering next week, buying the reversal. So if price closes where it is for the week, around about 712, and perhaps you use this level down here as your stop loss, 20% stop loss at 576. And then long term, you target the all-time high. You've got 56% upside to with a risk to reward of 2.93. So that's a higher risk trade. There's less confirmation. You would be buying down here where you've only got 1 week of the reversal to confirm it is moving up. But something to consider if you like trading the reversals. You can see overall this stock does trend well. Using my trend arrow, you can see how the stock does move up rhythmically. We've got this peak here, trended down, broke the trend line, found support here, broke the trend line again. So currently we've got that downtrend which has been broken recently, found support here, it's broken the trend line, and now after earnings it got sold off. It looks as if it's found support here, and then potentially it's going to move back up. It could come up to here first, maybe 896, it pull back to find support, break 896 once again, maybe move up to about 992, maybe 1000. It might find support here before eventually trending up to challenge these levels up here and the all-time high. So I think this price action is definitely possible over the next 6 months, and it does correspond with what ASML is doing long term. So a couple of bullish scenarios to consider for this stock. What about the bearish scenario for ASML? So right now you can see price did trade up to create this high here. It got sold off, found support at 573. You can see the stock has found support here, and also more recently it's found it here as well. So clearly this is a strong level for ASML. Now after this break here, it did trend up to create the all-time high, this peak here. It got sold off, came back down to find support. Now after the break, it's only moved up to 826. So there is a risk now. It is possible that what we're seeing is a head and shoulders pattern evolving. So we've come up to here, come down, big peak here. Okay, there's the head, and then potentially this could be the right shoulder, so to speak. And then stock is going to come back down and test this level once again. And potentially then it could have a bit of a counter rally before breaking 575. So is a possible bearish scenario here, but it's unconfirmed yet. With this scenario, obviously we're expecting price to fall away, and perhaps this week, even if it closes high, potentially it could be sold off in the next few weeks and move down further toward this level here. So with my two trade possibilities that I discussed, there's obviously the high risk one where you're entering perhaps this week or next week on the reversal. But I think the safer entry would be to wait until price gets above here, because that would confirm that price is more likely to move up to challenge this level once again and not actually get sold off and move back down. So I think this is the key level for a safe entry into ASML. The risk is if you enter early, it could get sold off. You would be in a negative position perhaps down here. It might find support and then move back up, over the next 6 to 8 weeks. But of course, if you buy here, you would be in a negative position for a number of weeks. So if you're looking at a short to medium term trade, definitely wait for this one for confirmation. Of course, if you're longer term, maybe very long term, in years, 3 to 5 years, and you're bullish on this stock, then it doesn't matter so much, because it does look as if long term, this stock is moving up. It is looking bullish. Let me know what you think in the comments regarding ASML stock. Are you holding this one right now? Are you considering buying it and adding it to your portfolio? Perhaps you want to trade it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.